officer shall invalidate the results. By the petitioner's calculations, the presiding officer and the deputy presiding officer. If the two officers did not sign any declaration, were the actual results obtained by the candidates and announced by the question that must be asked is whether or not the results can only be deemed verifiable is in the negative. I say so because pursuant to Regulation 79, Subregulation 1, that they should record the reasons for the refusal or failure to sign. Subregulation 6, further, I pause there to point out that the regulation does not impose as had not been tampered with. In that case, the court could have evaluated the anomaly contained in the results through an order for scrutiny. In this case, the petitioner asked for scrutiny, and the court allowed it. Through the process of scrutiny, the court and the parties had an opportunity of conducting an evaluation of the results contained in the unsigned forms. The scrutiny exercise constituted a process of verification of the accuracy or otherwise of the results in the forms 37A. Secondly, unlike in the case of Kavogo versus Thuo, the agents of the petitioner signed the forms 37A. By appending their signatures to the forms 37A, the agents were expressing their satisfaction with the results contained therein. In my considered opinion, the signatures of the agents cannot have been in vain. They constitute a clear chain between the results in the forms 37A and the petitioner. Thirdly, the results from the scrutiny largely demonstrate that the results on the unsigned forms 37A are the same results as were earned by the candidates as declared by the presiding officers. When it is borne in mind that the petitioner and his agents made conscious decisions not to challenge the declared results through a process of a recount, and because the agents signed the forms 37A, I hold that the accuracy of the results were verifiable. I reject the notion that although the agents signed the forms 37A, such results would be invalid simply because the presiding officer did not sign them. I next tackle the issue of alteration of some forms 37A without countersigning. It is common ground that regardless of whether or not it is a statutory requirement, the countersigning of alterations on the forms 37A is an acceptable best practice. Saying that the IEBC provided carbon copies for 7 out of the 20 forms 37A. The petitioner has not demonstrated how they were different from the original forms 37A. If the petitioner had any reason to doubt the carbon copies in this instance, the burden of proof was upon the results which were announced are the same results in both the forms 37A. But justice demands that if the votes garnered by the third respondent in Gase Primary School, Stream 1, are to be reduced so that the number is in line with that which was arrived at during the scrutiny, it should follow that the other results obtained through scrutiny should be upheld. In the alternative, if the results from School Timfa, Al Hidayah 4, and Ola Primary School 3 were to be disregarded, then the results from Gase Primary School should also be disregarded. I so hold because if the possible interference with the contents of the respective ballot boxes has an impact on the results which were either declared or disregarded, a similar consideration should befall other polling stations whose ballot boxes were possibly interfered with. I find that because neither the petitioner nor the third respondent has been shown to have played any role in any possible interference with the contents of the ballot boxes after the presiding officers had declared the results, we should accept the results of the scrutiny at face value by and transparent manner. I further find that the results obtained by the candidates were largely verifiable. I found no flaw in the elections which was so grave as to have been capable of subverting the will of the people of Mandera County. The results declared by the returning officer reflected the will of the voters as they had been expressed through the ballot. Accordingly, I find that the third and fourth respondents were validly elected as the governor and deputy governor of Mandera County. In the event the petition is dismissed, the third and fourth respondents have asked me to issue a certificate for 3 advocates. However, I have found no reason in law to warrant the issuance of a certificate for 3 counsel. There has not arisen any novel issues of law which require the engagement of 3 advocates to represent the third and fourth respondents. I therefore order the petitioner to pay the cost of the petition to all the respondents. I direct that the cost shall be taxed by the taxing officer of this court. However, in keeping with the desire of Kenyans to keep a lead on the costs, I direct that the instruction fees for the first and second respondents shall not exceed 5 million shillings. And similarly, I direct that the instruction fee for the third and fourth respondents shall not exceed 5 million shillings. That is my judgment.
My Lord, we are most obliged. My Lord, could we go on record that my learned friend Hassan Noor Nyamodi and Sahomo.
So Nyamodi is now for first and second?
Yes, and Mosquito, both respondents.
Yes, please.
Your Lordship, most obliged. We respect the decision of the court.
Yes, sir. But if you want to wait for us to type, it will take a long time because the typing pool no longer exists in judiciary. So it's the same secretaries who used to type judgments who also type proceedings.
We stand guided.
So can I give you permission to use the handwritten, which you then share with your colleagues? Okay? If they confirm, we then certify. But if they are delaying in confirming accuracy, you then send to us. You don't have to wait for them.